Starting out as a self-taught artist can be both exciting and challenging. Trust me, I've been there. I had to learn on my own and I went through all the mistakes you can imagine, but I somehow managed to push through, and now I'm a full-time professional artist. There's a lot of things that I wish I knew when I first started that could have avoided me a lot of wasted time and discouragement. And also along the way, I've learned some key principles that have significantly improved my ability to grow my painting skills on my own. Being self-taught is not easy. You have to deal with the difficulty of painting itself and the difficulty of being your own teacher. And for many, this is just too much, but fear not. You can do it if you have the right approach. And in this video, I want to share my experience and talk about some very important methods that helped me successfully learn oil painting by myself. Alright, so let's dive in. First one, set up an inspiring art studio. When I first started, I thought that it would be fine to just take a corner of my living room and pack my stuff at the end of each session. However, I soon realized that it had a detrimental effect on my progress. It was too impractical and time-consuming. So because I had no choice but to use my living room, I decided to create a small, dedicated area, like a room within a room, but not really a separate room where I could leave my easel in place. So if possible, choose a space where you can leave your art supplies permanently, allowing for easy access session after session. Of course, a separate room is ideal. Consider factors such as light, ventilation, and comfort. Next, you want to gather your essential art supplies if you want to start. I have a list on my website if you don't know what to start with. The link is in the description. It will give you a suggestion of things you can get to start, including paints, brushes, palette knives, canvases, palette mediums, what to choose for a cleaning supply. Basically, you want to invest in quality materials within your budget to ensure better results and durability, but you don't want the cost to weigh you down either. So try to only get the necessary stuff, and this list can help you. Next, you need to arrange your workspace, organize your art supplies in a way that's easily accessible and promotes efficiency. Use storage compartments, shelves, drawers, containers to keep your materials organized and tidy. You want to consider arranging your supplies based on categories, or try to have a special bin for your color palette to make it easier to find what you want. Next, you want to choose a stable easel. It's the backbone of your studio, so you want to invest in something sturdy like a studio easel, an H-frame easel. And I get that this is probably a little bit expensive and some people want to start with something cheaper. If you really don't have a lot of money to spend on an easel, you can do a wall easel yourself to save space and save money. It's really easy to do. It's super sturdy and it's going to save a lot of space in your room, make it easier to walk around. And after that, you just have to set up your working space, ensuring that your canvas is at eye level. If possible, you want to find the best spot for your easel near a window or a well-lit area to take advantage of natural light. Natural daylight provides a balanced and accurate representation of colors and helps create a pleasant atmosphere. If natural light is limited, then you should consider using good daylight bulbs to mimic natural lighting condition. And final thing, actually pretty important, you want to personalize your art studio. Make your own art space that reflects your personality and inspires creativity. Hang artwork that inspires you or showcases your progress. Decorate the space. Ensure that the studio feels inviting and comfortable so that you want to spend time in. Surround yourself with the art that inspires you to make art. Practice consistently. One thing that an art instructor provides is structure and consistency. Well, if you're self-taught, obviously, you're going to have to provide this for yourself. Make time to practice regularly. Just because it's only you and yourself doesn't mean you can't set up a schedule and be somewhat disciplined with your practice. If necessary, use a timer and write down how many hours you've spent practicing painting. Oil painting takes time, so you have to be aware of that. It's a game of patience. But when you see those hours add up and your skills grow, you feel really rewarded for all the time that you spent. One key aspect is also to set realistic goals for yourself. Normally, an instructor would do that for you, but here you're on your own. So you have to determine what you want to achieve in your oil painting journey and don't aim for something too high too soon. Break down your goals into smaller, manageable tasks or projects. For example, you can aim to complete a certain number of small paintings or focus on specific techniques before you start tackling this huge painting project that's been your dream for years. Take things progressively. Setting goals provides direction and motivation for your practice. Next, you want to create a schedule. You want to establish a regular painting schedule that suits your lifestyle and commitments. You want to dedicate some specific time slots each week for painting and treat this as non-negotiable, just like if it was a scheduled class with an actual art professor. Having a set schedule helps with the discipline and ensures that you consistently engage in your artistic practice. You want to start with short sessions. If you're new to oil painting, you want to begin with shorter sessions to avoid feeling overwhelmed and ultra tired. You want to start with 20 minutes, 30 minutes next, and when you feel ready, you can do 1 hour per session. And after that, you can gradually increase the number of sessions before you take a break, or you can increase the overall length of each painting session. Consistency here is more important than the length of each session, so focus on maintaining a regular painting routine that you feel comfortable with. Final thing, practice regularly, but don't bore yourself to death. Experiment with different techniques. Make yourself a to-do list of exercises to improve your skills consistently. Start with simple subjects and gradually move on to more complex ones. The more you paint, the more you learn about the medium and start developing your own style. If you don't have an actual master behind your shoulder, there should always be someone you look up to and try to emulate all in your head. A master is mainly a source of inspiration, a certain style, a certain type of brushwork, a certain type of color approach that you inspire to integrate in your own work at some point in some way or another. Find your masters in the history of arts. You have the best of the best here and so much to learn from them just by looking at what they have produced. Study the works of renowned oil painters from different eras. Van Eyck, Raphael, Rembrandt, Rubens, Delacroix, Sargent. Whoever inspires you the most based on what you wish to create. Study those masterpieces, analyze their compositions, their brushwork, the use of color, the overall aesthetic. Pay attention to the details. Pay attention to the way they handle light and shadows or their unique brushwork. Spend time closely observing. If you can find reliable sources, you can delve into the techniques that they actually used back then. You can read books, articles, biographies that explore the artistic process. Even though it's very hard to know exactly how they proceeded, some artists have left traces of how they painted. Look for resources that discuss their approach to oil painting, their preferred materials, and their methods for achieving certain effects. Understanding the techniques they employed can help you in your own artistic practice, just like if you had a master teaching you their way. When you feel ready, you can also try a couple master studies. You can select a painting by a master and try to replicate it as closely as possible. Focus on capturing the brushwork, the color palette, the mixing, and the overall composition. This practice will help you with your observation skills, and it will help you gain insight into the decisions made by the original artist. You also want to visit museums and galleries. You want to take advantage of opportunities to visit exhibitions that showcase the works of the masters that you admire. Seeing the paintings in person allows you to appreciate the nuances and details that may be difficult to perceive in reproductions. Take notes, use your sketchbook, use photographs if it's allowed for further study and reference. Being self-taught can feel lonely, and this loneliness is one of the main reasons people phase out oil painting. There's no way around it. If you're a solo creator and you're teaching yourself, you're going to have to deal with being alone to make your art. But it doesn't mean that you have to isolate yourself. Join a local art community. Look for local art clubs, workshops, painting groups in your area. Connecting with fellow artists can provide a supportive environment for learning and sharing ideas. If you feel ready, participate in group exhibitions or art shows to gain exposure. You want to attend art exhibitions and galleries. Visit galleries, open studio events to immerse yourself in the art world. You want to observe the work of other local artists as well as established artists. It doesn't have to be about how you teach yourself, it's just fun to chat with people who share a common passion. Take note of the tips and tricks that you'll eventually hear here and there, and engaging with art in person with other artists can be a very enriching experience that will expose you to different artistic approaches with different visions. And when you feel comfortable, it's super important to start showing what you do. Show yourself and open up to the world. Use online platforms to show your art. Just because you're still learning doesn't mean that you can't share your progress. And don't be shy. Let people know that you're a work in progress and share about your difficulties. If you don't pretend to be amazing and make it clear that you're still learning, people won't be hard and judgmental, but supportive and even inspired by what you do. The advantage of being self-taught is that you can learn from more varied sources. Sometimes when someone is teaching you, they're trying to tell you how to paint the way they paint. In your case, you get to decide what the best approach is. You're free, which is both exhilarating but also intimidating. My advice is to gather knowledge from as many resources as you can. There are many books, old and new, to learn about how to paint. So many instructional videos and online courses available that focus specifically on oil painting techniques. Look for content that covers the fundamentals of oil painting, provide step-by-step demonstrations, and offer practical exercises. Obviously, you can check out my own painting courses because I've redesigned them so that you can come up with your own painting process, not just do as I do. But I still recommend that you check out other resources as well. Engage with online communities and forums dedicated to oil painting. Join platforms like Reddit, Discord if it's something you're interested in. Participate in discussions, ask questions in the chat, and share your work for feedback if you feel that it's a safe environment. Online communities provide opportunities to connect with fellow artists, learn from their experiences, and receive constructive criticism to improve your skills. Remember, learning oil painting is a journey that requires patience and practice. Enjoy the process, embrace the mistakes as learning opportunities, and gradually build upon your skills to develop your own unique style. If you want to watch another painting video, click here. Again, a huge thank you to everyone supporting me on Patreon. This video wouldn't be possible without your support. If you want to join the community, you'll find the link in the description below. You'll also find the links to my courses, my oil painting course and my color course. Alright, that's it for today, my friends. As always, joy and inspiration to you.